Hey, how's it going? Hey, Angela. Hey, Madeline. Great to have you here. Can you let me know if you can see the video and if you can hear me, and if the audio is good too? That would be good to know. So just let me know in the comments box. Perfect, Angela. Yes, I can. Cool. Madeline, is everything okay at your end? Okay. Cool. Great. Thanks so much for coming on, the both of you, and hopefully maybe one or two others can join in. But I hope you're both doing really well, and I hope wherever you are, the weather's looking good. It's a bit wet and cold here in London. We had some really nice weather the last couple of weeks, and it's just decided to rain. So I'm having the usual British summer at the moment. So yeah, I hope you're both good. And actually, I kind of wanted to start off by just mentioning, I literally just read Madeline's post in the group, and just think it was such a wonderful post to put in. Talking about creativity and fear, and how some people feel reluctant to post or show their work for different types of reasons. And yeah, I wanted to really talk about that because I think Madeline, I think you've really kind of cut to like a real kind of core or central message to what it means to be creative and to make work just for the joy of it, really. I was thinking about how I saw a documentary a while ago now about cave painting, and in particular, these cave paintings that were found in France, and they're 70,000 years old, and we'll probably never know why they were made, but a human being made these amazing paintings, and kind of made me really think that we're really sort of driven to kind of communicate and to share with people. It's something that's it's at our core, really. And likewise, when you're a child, and I remember my childhood, no one ever told me to draw, or nobody ever told me to make work or anything like that. It's just it's just something that you did and you enjoyed it. And I think the older that you get, it can be quite difficult sometimes to remember that you should really tap into the stuff that you enjoy doing, and to kind of to do it without fear can be really difficult for some people. So I suppose I just wanted to reassure anyone that feels that they can't share work for whatever reason. Just know that particularly in the group, I don't believe that there's anybody there that is out to be overly critical. But at the same time, I think that criticism is important because it helps us to kind of grow and to improve. I think that we can sometimes feel as though when you're making work that without that feedback, there's no way of knowing. It's kind of like correcting the course of a ship or a boat. You're not quite sure what the course is until someone can kind of tell you to go left or go right a little bit. So Angela's just saying, hot here today, going to be about 99 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, that is insane. But yeah, so apologies for my ramble on creativity, but I think it's a really important point, and I think it's something that you can practice, just as Madeline said. I totally believe that. I don't believe that you're either born creative. I think everybody has a kind of seed of creativity, and it's up to us, whether you choose to kind of nourish it, improve it, and grow it. So yeah, I think it's a really great point. I'd love to talk about that a lot more, but maybe we should get on with what I wanted to show you today. So I thought we've been covering flowers last week, and again people asked in the group to try and cover flowers again, and I think I saw a couple of posts where, again, some people felt a bit frustrated with the work they were producing, and I just wanted to just show two really simple methods or ways of thinking about how you could kind of add a little bit more depth to your work. Angela just mentioning Texas in the summer. Yeah, I have to say, Angela, I had planned a number of years ago to try and travel across Arizona and Texas with my girlfriend and maybe a friend as well, actually. But I was speaking to another friend who's from Texas, and he said, yeah, if I was going to be driving through the desert to make sure that I took a lot of water with me. So yeah, 99 degrees is crazy. And Angela also just says, love the leaves. So yeah, I just wanted to just show you how I made these leaves, basically. And yeah, I felt that maybe that could be a useful thing to kind of add on top of the technique for last week, for showing you how to create a little bit more texture with the petals. Angela says, oh, please do, if you come to Texas, please let me know. I have a spare room and you're welcome. Thank you so much. I definitely will take you up on that offer if I ever do head over to Texas. But yeah, I haven't been back to the States in a while, actually, and I'd love to go back. So yeah, if I'm in your neighborhood, I will definitely give you a shout, Angela. Likewise with you too, Madeline. I'll definitely say hello. So yeah, with the leaves, I was just thinking about how you could kind of create texture in different ways. Madeline says, open invite. Thank you so much. And likewise, guys, if you ever come to London, feel free to stop in for a cup of tea at my place. So yeah, it'd be good to have you over. So yeah, with the leaves, I was thinking about how we could kind of create a little bit more depth, and how you could achieve that in different ways, really. So really, I was just I can redraw that again. Maybe I can start from scratch just to show you. So basically, I was just creating these very simple leaf shapes to just illustrate the point. So with the first one, it was just a very simple kind of oval shape, and I began with taking the darkest green and really adding a lot of pressure and trying to kind of accentuate the outline of it, I suppose. So yeah, just starting with, and this green in particular is just a dark green. This is the Prismacolors dark green. I don't know if you can see that. So that was the kind of the first stage. So just kind of emphasizing the veins as well. And then also, by starting with the dark colors, it was about trying to slowly, what's the word? Just to add a little bit of kind of lighter pressure around the edges. So we've got this dark line, and we've added a lot of pressure, and then it's just lighter pressure just on the inside of those edges. I'm going to do this really quickly, so hopefully we can get onto the other leaf as well. But just to illustrate the steps that I went through, and then also pick up some of the other little tips or tricks that I might have used if this is something that you want to try, or maybe if you have a set of coloring pencils to hand, then maybe you might find it useful to give it a go too. And then really after that, it was about working in a. So this is a grass green here. Let me just show you. So a slightly lighter kind of green or tint. I'm just using to, and again, I'm not really adding a lot of pressure, maybe sort of mid pressure there, and I'm just trying to work into the dark green and work into the edges. And again, right here. Yeah, so you can see here how already those white areas emphasize almost the top parts of the leaf. If you could imagine the leaf itself kind of bulging out at the top, so that all of the light is going to be kind of hitting these top spots here in the leaf. And then from there, just a spring green, and again just working that in, and almost as I'm doing this now, I'm starting to almost blend this bright green in with that mid tint green there. So really, we're only leaving a tiny amount of white space at the top now. So yeah, so I was using the pencil like a blender, and I did actually use a blender at one point to help bring all of the colours together, which I'll show you in just a sec. And then finally, I finished with a yellow ochre, which is a sort of golden yellow, really light in the white areas that are just left. So these spots at the top, and then I think I worked back in with the dark again because I wanted to just make sure that was blending quite nicely. And then I think actually you can see here in this leaf here how I used the spring green, the kind of the bright green, to just dull down that yellow a little bit, so that it doesn't feel as though it's really jumping out too much, so it blends in a little bit better. And then over the top, so I've just got my blender here just to work in the edges, work my way in. And you can see the effect already. And I actually wonder, it might be good at this stage as well if you have it to hand. I've got my Gamsol, but if you wanted to go that far and apply Gamsol with a blending stamp or a brush, that could be a good option too. I just thought I'd use the blender just to quickly show you how that yellow is sort of disappearing now and receding a little bit more into the leaf. But really, what I think makes it, and what makes the leaf work well is just how I basically use black at the end, just to give a kind of greater differentiation in the shadows. So I was really using it very, very, very lightly, with just the kind of very, very light strokes over the top, working from that central stem, from inside to out. Maybe it's not going to be as clear on the video, but it's just the lightest pressure, and then cross hatching as well as I'm going the opposite way to try and get that really subtle blending with the leaf. And I also just accentuated these stems a little bit more by just drawing them out a bit more there, so that it kind of feels as though it's a little bit more kind of three-dimensional, I suppose, so it's more rounded. But yeah, that was basically the process that I went through with creating that leaf. And sorry, I've just seeing the messages now. So Angela, were you using the dark green? So let me just show you the colours that I used again. I had a dark green for the edges. I just drew the leaf because I just wanted to just show you quite clearly the kind of steps that I went through. Hey Amy, good morning. No problems in being late. So yeah, I was just showing Angela the steps again. So dark green was just used to kind of outline leaf itself. And then I just use grass green to kind of begin to blend from within that. So if you could imagine, actually, maybe a good analogy might be if I just drew this circle here, and if I was to apply a lot of pressure from the outside, and then begin to, so you can see how dark it is from the outside, and then now I'm just applying lighter and lighter pressure as it gets towards the middle, and then from there I will use the what is it, the grass green here, so the kind of let's call it the mid-tone green. So it's really just these three greens that I'm using. I like to keep things simple. So yep, just working again, not a lot of pressure, just sort of mid pressure there. And then the kind of top green is the spring green, this kind of luminescent bright green. And again, I'm actually working from the outside in, so the spring green is almost acting like a blender. So it's blending the dark and the mid green together. And then finally, rather than leaving that spot white, I just wanted to finish off with that yellow ochre. So just very, very lightly added that yellow sort of spot in, and then worked over the top again with the bright green to blend it in with all of these greens together. And then yeah, just the blender at the end to bring everything together. And it works pretty well actually. And then the black was used to, I could use it here actually. Let's imagine that this is a point of light that's shining onto this here. So we could imagine that actually this corner, or this part of this circle is going to be in black. And as I said, I was just very, very lightly cross-hatching with the black to create a shadow. And again, you could accentuate that a bit further by maybe even applying a little bit of pressure with the black along this edge here. And yeah, I've seen some nice approaches with using white paint or a white gel pen to just add another little kind of highlight. You could think about using that too, but I hope that explains. So Angela says, okay, so you're pulling the greens together. Yeah, I suppose I was working my way from dark to light, and then using the spring green and the blender to really bring or just blur or bring those greens together. Amy, do you use hard, medium, or light pressure when you use the blending pencil? So in this case, I don't really add a lot of pressure, really. Probably say medium pressure to bring the colours together. But then potentially it depends on the pressure that you used here in the first place. So I imagine if you're applying a lot of hard pressure with the green pencils, for instance, I'd imagine that you'd have to use a lot of hard pressure with the blender as well, if that makes sense. In this example here, actually, what I was doing was, again, really, really simple, but wanted to just show how you could almost break up the segments of a leaf, and kind of, I mean, this might illustrate it a little bit better, but let's say, let's get that dark green once again. I actually sharpened my pencils earlier in my tray, but just to get a really hard and fine point to the pencil. So I'll just sharpen this pencil again just to show you. Yeah, I don't have a bin to hand at the moment, so that's why I use the tray. So yeah, this is applying a lot of hard pressure, so it's there's no white space on the paper itself, and really it's just blending from dark to light. That's That's all it is. So in goes the dark green, and then again working my way into a kind of mid to really light pressure there. So I don't know if you can make that out. Angela says, sorry, my cat just stepped on the keyboard. Yeah, my cat does that too. It's frustrating. I don't know why they do it. I think they want to do it for attention. And so after the dark green, I just, it's just with the grass green, applying some pretty hard pressure again, and working into that dark green, working my way up. So it's almost like you're colouring over the dark green with the grass green, the sort of mid green. And so again, same thing, applying sort of mid to light pressure. So you can kind of see the effect there. And then finally with the spring green, again, just working really hard pressure over everything. And one thing I did try with this leaf here actually was, instead of using a blender, so in this case I didn't use a blender at all, I was just using the each green in succession to kind of blend the other one together, if that makes sense. So the spring green was blending, or it was used as a blender for the grass green, and the grass green was used as a blender for the dark green. Until right at the top, I just used a bit of white, just to get a kind of creamier green, not to use that yellow at all. But yeah, I wonder if that's quite clear. Let me just show you under the camera there, so you can kind of see the effect that can be created. So I hope that's pretty clear. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what you guys think, or whether you have your own different approaches to colouring at all. Even doesn't have to be leaves, but talking about the petals that we went over last week. I wondered if anyone had given that a go actually, or if there's your own way of colouring petals or leaves. I'd be really interested to sort of see it, and just to kind of compare notes, or even just share some of those ideas in the groups. Angela says you're using Prismacolors, right? Yeah, they're really kind of like, I feel like they're good for blending into one another. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I feel like they're quite good for things like this, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, that was really it, to be honest. I was thinking about colouring a little bit of a page. I had this one page in Animal Kingdom that I wanted to kind of have a go at, but yeah, not sure what you guys reckon, or even if there's enough time to kind of go through it. But maybe I can give it a little go actually. Why not? We've got about 5 minutes left or so. But yeah, I don't know if you guys are working on anything that's kind of similar to this at the moment, or even if there's no kind of particular questions around that. But I think you can see here in let's just take this for instance. I mean, there's insane detail in the drawing, but I'll just go through that process again, but at a much smaller scale, just to show you. So just using that really dark green to kind of pick out the edges of the leaves within this petal. I mean, it probably shouldn't be green, but hey, I'm gonna do it that way just to show the steps and stages again. I'll do this one half just to illustrate the point. So yeah, the grass green. It doesn't really leave a lot of room to kind of blend in the highlight there, but give it a go. And then finally, I'll just use this spring green just to bring it further. And then maybe on the other side, I can show you we could maybe try some of that that black to kind of shade the other side or the other half of it. So yeah, let's do this again. So again, just using that dark green to pick out the edge. And you know, if these shapes or these leaves were bigger, then I would use a little bit of movement and light pressure to pick out, or even just to work into the previous colour a little bit more. So grass green. Yeah. So Amy says, is there a pencil sharpener that sharpens prismas to that little point? I just received some prismas, but my sharpener sharpens into a regular sharp pencil point without a lot of the lead showing in the crumble. That is awesome, by the way. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I just, to be honest, I think I picked this one up. I don't know where it is, but the angle in it is really, sorry, I'll just show you. The angle in it is pretty nice. I haven't had, I know a lot of people kind of complain about prismas breaking really easily. I haven't really come across that too much. You can see there the point that it produces, but otherwise, you know, I've seen some pretty hardcore people. You can find it. I might post it in the comments for this video because it's so funny. But there's a guy who has written a book on like how to sharpen pencils, and yeah, he feels that there's a real yeah, you know, just as we're speaking, just a little bit just cracked there. But yeah, he believes that there's a right way and a wrong way to sharpen pencils, and he's very particular about how you do that. I don't know if you guys have seen that video, but it's pretty interesting. So yeah, with this side, I was just going to do the same process, but just to add the black at the end, just to kind of add a shadow to that one side of the of this particular leaf or this petal. Just wondering actually what might be the best colour to use as a background. Maybe that really dark green could be good. So we could pick out the edge of this again, and you know, maybe what I might do this time actually, instead of just using really hard pressure, just to bring a bit of light or medium pressure there. So yeah. So just to kind of not to use too much hard pressure, but just very, very lightly sort of shading in from the edge, and then likewise in the middle. We'll do the same. And then I'll just use that black to just shade this one side, just to show you. So just very lightly putting that black over the top. So you know, you really get a better sense of depth there with the light kind of coming in. Perhaps say, if you could imagine a light source coming here, it's going to kind of illuminate this side of the leaf more, and it's going to leave the other half in the shade. So yeah, that was it really. You know, and also you don't have to use black. I know some people really dislike using black as a colour to shade with. You know, you might want to use just like a dark green, or maybe even a brown or something like that complements the colours really well. But I guess I just wanted to show black because it's quite an obvious, it gives an obvious contrast between the kind of the dark and the light. Angela says, Amy says, oh bother. Okay, I guess in relation to me breaking the lead. Angela says, Amy, I use the Prisma sharpener and it has two different sharpeners that work in it that work great. Cool. If you turn the sharpener instead of the pencil. Yes, that's a really good tip actually. I imagine turning the pencil probably more likely to kind of break the lead. But anyway, I think you can see my camera's struggling a little bit. But yeah, just to show you those kind of tips or techniques of kind of drawing freehand, and how you can begin to use Prismas to kind of blend that really simply. Really, I just wanted to do something that I felt that everybody could give a try, or have a go. And then obviously here, just applying that same idea to a coloring paint, so you could kind of complete that out. Yeah, Amy says, thank you. Even though I was late, I learned a lot. Cool. Thanks for the tip, Angela. I appreciate it. No problem. Yeah, thank you, Angela, for that one. So yeah, that's it really, guys. Let me know in the comments, if there's anything else that you want to kind of look at for next week, or if there's anything else that you want to cover. I hope today was useful. And yeah, I hope to catch up with you all in the group. And just a reminder that my book, Word Mandalas, is out now. And if you haven't done so already, the competition is still running to win the Polychromos, the 36-piece set. So we've still got a couple of weeks to go, I think, to add a caption and to vote, and to share your caption as well with your friends, so in order to get them to vote for you. So if you want to catch up on that, then you can find that in the group. And if you're watching this back on the replay, then thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, as well as register for Crowdcast, because like I said, I try and do these every week on a Wednesday, and the point of them is really to kind of help anyone, or if anyone's got any individual questions. I hope that this stuff can really be useful. So thanks again for tuning in. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Madeline. Oh, Angela says, I got your book the other week and it's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and wishing you all a great week and weekend, and catch you soon. Catch you in the group soon. Take care, guys.